is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Hi there, Swain Event family. Are you in the market to purchase a home and a bit freaked out with the market right now? As someone who's been in your spot before, I'm familiar with what's going through your brain. And as a realtor, I've mastered the ins and outs of the buying process. When you work with me, you'll benefit from my experience, and together we'll work toward making sound, smart decisions for your future. And of course, talk a little Vol Sports along the way. Just give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you soon.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America, 865-255-03. Hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. 865-255-03 is our telephone number, the Iris Network's hotline. Hour number 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. HappyHiller.com. I like the shirt, Ben. I like the shirt. How about them Braves? One game away from the World Series. Let's go, Ben. Are you excited? Kinda.
How about those Astros? 1 game away from the World Series. Stupid White Sox. Making me root for the freaking Astros. Gosh.
I'm sorry, man.
Just not a great Final Four for me in the MLB playoffs from a Yankees fan perspective.
I'm sorry.
Between the blankety Red Sox, almost just cussed.
I'm sorry.
The Red Sox, the Astros, and the Dodgers. Never want to see the Dodgers win. So at least the Braves are in there. I'll be honest, it can be hard at times to root for the Braves because of some of y'all's comments that y'all want to throw my way about my Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm swallowing those comments and still cheering for the Braves. And what they are doing right now is truly, truly remarkable. No Ronald Acuna. No Marcell Ozuna. I mean, those are aside from Freddie Freeman, 2 top hitters coming back this season, 2 of the 3 top hitters coming back this season, and they've been gone most of the year. And now they're on the verge of beating a Dodgers team who has Mookie Betts and Trey Turner and Max Scherzer and Walker Buehler and so on and so forth. I mean, this Dodgers team is absolutely loaded with talent. Without a doubt, the most talented team in baseball. And the Braves are on the verge of knocking them off and going to the World Series, which is weird because, A, Braves Twitter told me that the Braves season ended Tuesday night when they lost a single game. Weird. B, I thought Brian Snitker was a bad manager. But last night, when you have to scratch your starter right before the game and have to go to the bullpen for 7-8 innings and navigate that mess, they still dominated the Dodgers. So weird that the Braves are about to go to the World Series and Brian Snitker is a bad manager. But what do I know?
You know how fans are, man. Emotional. You know how it is, Ben. Emotional. Say a bunch of stuff you don't mean until your team's winning, you're happy. Then you mean it. Then you mean all the nice things that you said or you're going to say. But man, happy for the Braves. I'm happy when like most of the Tennessee fans that are Braves fans, I'm happy that they're happy. Happy that they're happy. Ben is too. You can hear it in his voice a little bit there.
A little bit.
A little bit there. A little bit. Tennessee plays Alabama this weekend. Did you know that?
Unfortunately, I'm not looking forward to this football game at all.
Jerome Carvin is looking forward to it.
Well, I would hope so. He's playing in it.
Well, he said he likes playing down there. Can't ready to go. Cade has never played down there. Cade Mace has never played down there, but we'll see.
May never play down there.
We'll see if that changes on Saturday. But these players are up to the challenge. These coaches have given these players confidence. We've seen it all season long. And that's not going to change on Saturday just because you're playing against a team in Alabama coming off a national championship, dynasty, more talented, best coach in college football history, on the road, night game. It still doesn't matter. Still doesn't matter. When you were a kid, your parents told you that you can be anything. Ben, when you told your mom and dad, I want to be like Peyton Manning. I want to be a quarterback like Peyton Manning. You know what your parents did? They lied to you. Yeah, Ben, you can be like Peyton Manning. You can play quarterback at Tennessee. You can be like Peyton Manning, Ben. Absolutely. They looked at each other like, whew.
Remember back in the day? You remember the toy catalog? Do you remember that? There used to be like a toy catalog.
Toys R Us?
Yeah, I don't remember what company it was for, but I remember there was always like a toy catalog that my parents would give to me right before Christmas, and they would tell me to go through and like circle what I wanted.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
easy. Makes it easy on us.
They always and used to. I'm sure you can still find them somewhere, but back in the late '90s when I was a kid, early 2000s, you could buy the dress up football players. Like they send you the helmet of the team and the jersey and the football pants.
Okay.
And I had a Brett Favre and Peyton Manning little dress up, and I'd dress up like Brett Favre and dress up like Peyton Manning and go out in the yard and just sling that pigskin around with my dad.
So like a little boy's Barbie, but for sports.
Yeah, I was a real life Ken doll, but I was Brett Favre and Peyton Manning. I had the football pants, I had the Brett Favre jersey and the little Packers helmet to go with it because my parents liked Brett Favre, and then obviously they loved Peyton as well, being University of Tennessee graduates. So decked out like Peyton as well.
Yeah, and your parents told you that you could be Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
They gave you that confidence, and you never doubted their confidence in you. Well, it's the same, man, when you have a team that is running through a brick wall for their coach.
The J.C. Penney catalog. Thank you, Chip Payne.
There it is. But when you have a coach that believes that you can play at a high level, and then you see yourself playing at a high level, and yes, we've seen it versus inferior teams. And Tennessee should have beaten Ole Miss. They had plenty of opportunities to do that, and I'm sure they saw way more opportunities on film to beat Ole Miss than what we have pointed out as fans and as radio dudes that have watched the game a couple times, but they have probably seen so many different opportunities where they could have won that football game. And so they're going to play with confidence until Alabama gives them a reason not to. And if you're Alabama, there's no reason for this game to be close with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, if we're just being honest.
If Hendon Hooker does not play, it really shouldn't be. If Hendon Hooker and Cade Mays don't play, it really shouldn't be a close game in the third quarter. If we're being honest,
it should.
Let me show my work real quick before somebody gets mad.
Please.
You got Will Anderson, literally the nation's best pass rusher, going up against Dane Davis if Cade Mays does not play. And no offense to Dane Davis, but that does not bode well for Tennessee. And if Joe Milton's in there, then you have a guy that's completing 46% of his passes. 46% is his completion percentage. 46, 47, something like that. It's atrocious is the point. And he just ran out of bounds on fourth down when you had to heave it to the end zone and he had teammates mad at him.
Yeah, in the moment.
So, yes, in the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment.
I have not heard how his teammates have responded to that moment.
Valus had his back publicly. Yeah. So
Valus knows what to say to the media, and he did kind of divert and go a separate direction before he remembered that he was asked about Joe, and he threw a little comment in there about, "No, you live and you learn." But
hey, you do.
If Cade and Hendon, they've got to play, quite frankly, for Tennessee to have any chance of making this a close game.
Yeah, you have a team that's limited when it comes to depth. The thing that's different about Texas A&M is, Jimbo Fisher's been there more than just 1 year. I think this is his fourth year,
third or fourth.
So he has built depth on both sides of the football and in special teams to not get yourself beat early. Like, give yourself a chance to stick around. And when you have guys go out, if you have guys that's tired, you can sub, and the drop-off may not be all that significant. Well, with us, we're talking about a guy that potentially is going to play the next level in Cade Mays. Then the drop-off is to a gentleman that just picked up a scholarship offer in the offseason because he was a walk-on. So that's the drop-off that we're talking about here with Tennessee. But for Texas A&M, I thought they were going to lose by 3 scores going into this football game when A&M and Alabama played. And we saw what happened there. So anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
You just never know. But I don't think anyone that's not inside that Tennessee locker room is going to put down, $100, $200, or, a car payment or mortgage payment in the favor of Tennessee. And that's okay. That is okay. But I'm looking forward to seeing how we respond and bounce back, losing Ole Miss in a heartbreaking fashion, and then going up against a team that's quite frankly just has more talent on the road. I want to see how this team responds. There's a lot to still play for this season. These guys, they love each other, and you wouldn't even know they've lost 3 games, man. To be honest, you wouldn't know that this team has lost 3 games.
They're the best 4-3 team in the country.
You would think these guys are undefeated or they've only lost 1 game by how they continue to go to work and their attitude and their outlook and their positivity. And there's different ways to skin a cat. There's different ways to get the job done. There's different ways to get to Dead End Barbecue. You can go I-40. You can get off on Paper Mill. You can go down to Paper Mill. You can make it right on Hollywood. Boom, you can make a left on Sutherland if you want to go that way. Or, boom, you can get off on 40. You can go all the way to Kingston Pike from Paper Mill exit. And you can go down Kingston, make a left over there by Kroger and Smoothie King and make a right to get to Sutherland. Like you can come the way from campus. You can go Cumberland Avenue and hit Sutherland that way. There's different paths to take. There's different ways to get to a destination. And for Tennessee, man, there's different ways to get the best out of your football players. And it doesn't always have to be yelling. It always doesn't have to be calling someone out the name. Now, it helps sometimes depending on the player, depending on what that player prefers and how that player responds. Some guys don't respond until you challenge their manhood, until you grab them and shake them, until you call them out their name. Some guys don't respond to just one tone type of coaching. Hey, man, just the positivity. Some guys don't respond to that. But as a coach, you have to identify what they do respond to and do that. And that's what the staff has done. And hearing some of the players, being the Theo Jacksons of the world, this team has responded to the style of coaching that this staff has put forth this season. And it's not a ton of yelling. Now, Rodney Garner is going to yell. But he can do that because these players know that they care about him. Oh, man. You can yell. You can scream. You can step out of bounds a little bit if you know that coach loves you and cares about you. Mm-hmm. But you can't do it if you have that question.
Right. Like, I thought it was funny the other day when Theo Jackson talked about nobody enjoys being cussed out every day or every other day. That you don't enjoy going into the building knowing that that's what's coming. I thought it was pretty funny because he must not hear Rodney Garner on the football field. But the difference between Rodney Garner and other coaches in the past, the last staff, is that Rodney coaches these guys up hard in practice and then loves up on them in a grandpa type of way off the field. Like, he's still hard on them.
Dang,
off
grandpa.
Well, I
mean, he might be really.
He is he's an older guy.
He's a grandpa.
Young.
I mean, he got a couple girls.
But that's his personality. Like, he's still tough on them off the field, but it's because he wants the best out of his players, out of his linemen. He wants them to be, first and foremost, great men, which will then lead to being great husbands and great fathers, great members of the community, and then great football players. And you have heard Matthew Butler, Jaquan Blakely, guys like that talk to the media and say that they love Rodney getting after them in practice because they know it's coming from the heart. It's because they know Rodney wants them to get better and get the absolute most out of football and reach their full potential. And they appreciate that. So Rodney does a good job of mixing in the hard coaching with also the tough love that a grandpa provides. That's kind of what I was getting at is that at least my grandpas, they I mean, I know they loved me, but it was tough love at times because they wanted to help me learn something or I don't know, something along those lines.
They want you to be better, man.
Right. I mean, it's just a grandpa.
You're not embarrassed their name.
That's right. I mean, for you, it's like your uncle. So it was cool to hear Theo talk about that. And it continues to amaze me, even though it's been talked about ad nauseum since Josh Heupel really started fall camp. the players and their mentions of just how much more enjoyable it is to be in the football complex these days compared to last year. And, again, you heard Theo talk about that on Tuesday when he mentioned that, hey, nobody likes being cussed out every day they come into the facility. Nobody likes being cussed out every other day. It's, hey, we're going to get this work in, and then we're going to have fun in the process of doing that.
Tennessee 4-3, 2-2 in SEC play. And it's Alabama week. Doesn't feel like Alabama week. And it doesn't feel like this team is 4-3. You're not supposed to be happy that the team is 4-3. You're supposed to be miserable. We didn't get the memo. We're supposed to be miserable right now that our team is 4-3. We did not get the memo. The reason why we did not get the memo is because we see the staff doing more with less. We see that this fan base needs to come together. And for Tennessee to be where it wants to be, then it's really everybody coming together. I've said this for months and months and months. It's leadership, administration, players, coaches, fans, like everyone pulling in the same direction. And I think this is the first time in a long time where I feel close to that. Of course, there's going to be some people here and there that disagree with how things are done or have an issue. That's normal. But like this is the first time in a very long time where I feel like players, fans, coaches, administration kind of pulling in the same direction. And it's going to have to continue for us to be where we want to be. Good to hear from Theo Jackson, Velus Jones, leaders on this football team. Byron Young has been great. We're talking about a first-year player that provides so much life experience and maturity to this football team, and he has 3 years of eligibility. Hopefully he doesn't use all 3 here at Tennessee, and he's able to go make some money for himself as soon as that opportunity arises. But like we got some awesome leadership from these guys right now, and we'll go over the comments. I want to thank everyone for an amazing 24 hours. Amazing 24 hours. Yesterday we introduced the Volunteer Spirit Fund for East Tennessee Children's Hospital. We introduced that yesterday. And they had raised about $3,000, $3,500, somewhere around that, before we jumped on board and started to promote it and really, really get behind it. And in 24 hours, Ben, we are at $38,100, $105. And we are a third of the way to our goal. And originally our goal was $250,000 to basically line up with the SEC fine. And what's important here is Saturday, all the attention was on Tennessee because of what happened in the end of the football game, right? With the things being thrown on the field. And so we want to hit a goal as quick as possible so that way people just don't move on. News cycles are quick and fast. And it's Thursday, and there's not a lot of people talking about the incident now. But that's okay, because they're talking about how the fans are stepping up and letting the world know that Vol Nation is about coming together for the greater good to help others. That's what we're about. And so the goal of $100,000 $102,455. It's the same number as the seating capacity in Neyland Stadium, 102,455. Because we want to hit a big time goal, quick, present that check to East Tennessee Children's Hospital. And we're not doing it for the national media. We're doing it for families. But we want to hit this goal quick and sit back and say, will we get that same energy? Will this be national news? Because I think that's important. Not to get the pat on the back, not to get the attaboy, but to encourage other people across the world, across the country, to do the same thing. Tennessee's not the only passionate fan base. There's other passionate fan bases. But what if this idea catches on somewhere else and somebody else decides to start this type of initiative? Think about how many families can be positively impacted. So we want to hit this goal as quick as possible. We want to create a chain reaction. We want other people in other cities and other fan bases across the country to do the same thing. There's a lot of people that need this type of assistance, and we want to be a leader. We want to be the model. We want other people to do the same thing. So we are a third of the way there, Ben. We are a third of the way there. $38,100 of our $102,455 goal to benefit East Tennessee Children's Hospital. All you have to do, simple, is go to volnationfundraiser.com. That will reroute you to the GoFundMe account. That is volnationfundraiser.com. We'll take our first break of the day. The great Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. Be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
Hi there, Swain Event family. Are you in the market to purchase a home and a bit freaked out with the market right now? As someone who's been in your spot before, I'm familiar with what's going through your brain. And as a realtor, I've mastered the ins and outs of the buying process. When you work with me, you'll benefit from my experience, and together we'll work toward making sound, smart decisions for your future. And of course, talk a little Vol Sports along the way. Just give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you soon.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Time for Around the SEC. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hope you're having a great morning. Thursday, we're almost there. Almost there to the weekend. Almost there to another weekend of college football. The weather's changing. The leaves are changing colors. They are falling. And before you know it, it's going to be the last week of college football. And it'll be over before you know it. Ben, what do we have for Around the SEC today?
Ooh, we've got some goodies to talk about today. What we got? Because you know why? Man, get Brad's ugly mug off that computer screen.
What we got?
Florida continues to just spiral out of control. They're losing to teams on the football field. 2-6 in the last 8 games against Power 5 teams. They lost to an LSU team that could not run the football, that has offensive line issues, and they gave up 40 to them. And it was the same LSU team that decided before the game that they were going to get rid of Coach O. Coach O and Scott Woodward, the AD at LSU, agreed before the Florida game that this was going to be his final season at LSU. And LSU went out there and stomped a mud hole in Florida. Folks mad at Dan Mullen for some comments and what they perceive as a lack of care and moving the goalposts in terms of expectations, a little Butch Jones expectation type of rift going down there at Florida. And now it's impacting Florida on the recruiting trail because yesterday, 4-star linebacker Shamar James, decommitted from Florida. He was their top-ranked remaining commitment, and this comes a couple of days after Sam McCall decommitted, and Shamar James and Sam McCall were both Florida's 2 highest rated recruits, and obviously are both rated higher than any remaining Florida commitment. So Dan Mullen spiraling out of control down there, and you don't hate to see it. In fact, you love to see it. Although I do maintain that in a weird way, if you're Tennessee, you want Florida to win a game or 2 down the stretch here, so Dan Mullen doesn't go anywhere because you want Dan Mullen at Florida if you're Tennessee.
Yeah, that buyout's ridiculous for Florida. Orgeron coming off a national championship just 2 years ago, so he got that contract extension and got more money with his buyout. But LSU is going to pay it, and we've seen South Carolina pay it. We've seen Auburn pay Gus Malzahn. I know a team that didn't pay a buyout for a coach getting fired.
Jeremy Pruitt.
Tennessee didn't do it.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet.
I do think the AD that got fired got a buyout, though. Oh, wait. That's not public, right?
It's public.
That's not the way that it was worded.
It was.
He retired. He was stepping away.
He got paid.
He got paid. Let me throw in a couple other SEC notes that are significant. The first one being another recruiting nugget. This happened on Tuesday night. 5-star receiver Luther Burden committed to Missouri. He's from East St. Louis High School there in East St. Louis, which is actually on the Illinois side of St. Louis, the same high school as Javonte Spraggins. I don't understand why you could legitimately, like he had legitimate offers from Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, and he chose to go to Missouri?
Now, Ben.
What?
Now, Ben, people may feel this way. They may think this when they see me with my wife. But you ever see a lady and she's very, very, very attractive, and you're like, dang, man, the good Lord was working that day.
How'd he end up with her?
Man, the good Lord was working that day. Man, he was working. He was in the workshop working that day. And they probably say that about, me and my wife when they see us. And then you see the dude. Then you see the dude come around. And you're like, yo, how? How did he do that? How? What? How did he get her? What is she thinking? Is she blind? Did the good Lord forget to give her eyesight? What is wrong with her? Huh? What is this? It makes no sense. Oh my goodness gracious. He's hideous. What was that, the State Farm commercial? He's hideous. That's That's what I thought when I saw this 5-star commit to Missouri. I was like, what? You a 5-star receiver? And you going to Missouri? Why?
C-Mac said he says all that when he sees his favorite women's basketball player.
He better stop. We're going to take our restraining order on C-Mac. But that was the head scratcher of the day. That was a head scratcher of the day. 5-star receiver, you going to Missouri?
On purpose.
On purpose?
On purpose. Did you see the video that Missouri football tweeted out of Eli Drinkwitz reacting? He looked like a complete. I mean, he looks like Butch Jones celebrating the Hail Mary against Georgia. I mean, he's just so corny. He's just such a goof. Like, what is this reaction? Like, he's about to cry.
Man, you got to do that, man. You got
to react like that?
Yeah, man. You got to.
I'm not curled up in the fetal position. See, Jake from Nashville brings it up at the same point. Y'all see the goofy blank video Drinkwitz posted after he committed. You got to be excited, but to curl up in the fetal position and try not to cry, like, come on.
You got to do that, man, when it comes to these recruits, man. You got to do it. You got to be over the top. Now, maybe this young man just wants to be close to home.
Look, I'll tip my hat to the young man. I mean, I love when kids stay home and rep where they're from. That there's a lot of honor in that, in my opinion. But it's Missouri. It's not Cade Mays staying home at Tennessee. It's not T. Higgins or Amari Rogers staying in Knoxville to play for Tennessee. It's Missouri. They hand out rocks on Senior Day.
It's just an hour and a half away from the house, though. I mean, he might be homesick. That's the only thing that I can think of.
Care. The only thing you can think of as to why you go to Missouri?
That is the only thing. Only thing.
I would love to know what NIL deals Missouri has lined up for this young man.
Well, that's what Missouri better do, and I hope that's what they did, because the last thing we want to see is him go to Alabama or Georgia.
I do appreciate that. But he could have gone to Ohio State. Go to Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, he could have done that, but like, it just surprised me. I mean, it surprised me with the year Mizzou has had so far. That surprised me, but kid wouldn't stay at home. I totally get that. I
bet
totally
you he decommits before signing day.
Man, NIL makes it real interesting though.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure Ohio State, Alabama could take care of him.
They're gonna be in that next Nelly video. Hey, Eli, we got you set up with Nelly. We're gonna put this new 5-star commit in the new Nelly video. Hook him up with the lunatics.
I'm moving on. In other Missouri news, Jay Macklin has entered the transfer portal. He was a freshman receiver that was struggling to see the field. Had some big injury news around SEC basketball yesterday. If you heard the segment yesterday, I let you know that Georgia was picked to finish last in the SEC. And on top of being picked to finish last in the SEC, Georgia's lone returning contributor, because they had so much attrition. You think Tennessee football had attrition last offseason? Go look at all the players that left Georgia. I mean, it's a completely new roster. The starting point guard is going to be Kentucky's starting point guard, and got a player at Auburn now that's going to start. It's been really bad.
They so disrespectful. Those players just didn't transfer. They transferred to
Kentucky and Auburn
rivals. they so disrespectful, man.
But their lone returning contributor, P.J. Horn, is out for the season after tearing his ACL. So things continue to spiral out of control for Tom Crean. And then at LSU, guard Adam Miller, who transferred to LSU from Illinois and was expected to be a huge factor for LSU this season, also suffered a torn ACL and will miss the season. So LSU and Georgia getting some bad basketball news. Alabama will be down a defender, more than likely. Starting outside backer Drew Sanders, who starts opposite of of Will Anderson. Nick Saban said that he is probably very doubtful for this game. He's missed the last 2 to 3 games, so looks like he'll miss another game as he battles an injury. The last thing I got for you, we're loaded, so I have to mention this. Can't cut this one off. Scott Cochran is set to return to the Georgia staff in an off-the-field role after his personal leave that began about 2 months ago for what was personal health reasons. Kirby Smart confirmed on Tuesday that he was back in the building and working, this time in more of an off-the-field role. Will Muschamp, who had moved into the on-field role in Cochran's absence, will remain there.
They got 2 former head coaches on their staff.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal.
And Eric Gilbert still not back, according to Kirby Smart on Tuesday. He's also been away from the team for unspecified personal reasons, and Kirby Smart said Eric is not back. He's still continuing his journey and hopefully going to get back. We're communicating with him. Everyone's pulling for him. I don't know the answer to when or if he'll be back.
Yeah.
A lot going on around the SEC.
Yep.
Basketball starting up, football, best time of the year.
I'm ready. I'm ready for Tennessee basketball to start. I am ready.
They play next Saturday.
I am ready.
Against Rick Barnes' alma mater, Lenore Rhine, here in Thompson Bowling next Saturday afternoon in an exhibition.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this Tennessee basketball team. Let me hit the text box. Morgan says, somebody get that boy a rock so he can go somewhere else. He going to Missouri. Go to Missouri, young man. Get that NIL money. Stay closer to home. Still surprised me. Now, remember Dorian Green Beckham was a 5-star receiver that stayed home. Now, Missouri football was in a much better place than what it is right now. But, hey, man, guys staying home. Tremel says, chill, bro. You is ugly than a mug, though. You know why Tremel's triggered?
Because he's ugly as a mug.
Yeah, when I was making that comparison. Because he felt threatened.
He felt like you were talking about him.
I was talking about him. I was talking about
I was talking about Vol Storm and especially DR Vol. Especially DR Vol.
Oh, DR Vol definitely outkicked his coverage. When I saw DR Vol's lady, I was like, "What are you doing?
Who are you, ma'am? I know you're not here with this guy.
What are you doing? You sure? You sure?"
I mean, you said the same thing about my wife, and that's fair as well. So.
Oh man. The other McKee says, "Does Nelly still make videos?" I mean, he makes commercials.
He can make videos.
He makes commercials. Commercials technically are videos. It's just not about music. About food. I mean, he could drop a new single anytime he wants to, but I mean, just saying. Mike says, I'm sure the other teams are saying the same thing about Walter Nolan if he chooses us. Shh. Mike, shh. Walter Nolan lives in Knoxville. It's different.
He lives in Powell.
He lives in Knoxville.
Powell.
Last time I checked, Powell is a suburb of Knoxville.
No, it's called Powell, Tennessee.
He lives in Knoxville.
Honestly, I don't know where Walter lives. So he may live in Knoxville.
Just like when you go out on vacation and you around other parts of the country and people say, "Hey, where you from?" And you say, "Huntsville, Alabama." You don't
say Knoxville.
You don't say New Market, Alabama. You say Huntsville.
I say Knoxville. I'm from Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you're from Knoxville. You're not from Huntsville anymore.
I mean, I am from Knoxville. You from Knoxville too, man. You own a home in Knoxville. Your bills say Knoxville, Tennessee. You are Knoxville. 865-255-03. Be right back.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm, let us help. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Don't remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Time for Attaboy here on the program, brought to you by Iris Networks, USA.com. Iris Networks specializing in fiber, internet, and voice, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses. That is Iris Networks, USA.com.
How can you not give today's Attaboy to the Braves? I know we talked about it off the top of the show, but it's truly, truly, truly remarkable what the Braves are doing right now. To be one game away from the World Series, 5 wins away from being national champions, World Series champions, world champions,
National League champions.
Well, they're 1 win away from being National League champions,
Yeah.
5 away from being the ultimate champion.
Mhm.
With this current roster, because of injuries and Marcell Ozuna's situation is truly remarkable. And Alex Anthopoulos, the Braves GM, deserves a ton of credit because he could have sold at the deadline because the Braves season was not trending in the right direction because of all the injuries and the Marcell Ozuna incident. But the Braves are still kind of hovering around a potential playoff berth. And kudos to Alex Anthopoulos for not selling and pushing towards the playoffs, because that's one thing I do hate about sports right now is that teams would rather rebuild than push all their chips forward and try to win. They'd rather resell or sell away everything if they're kind of teetering on the direction of the team or the direction of the season. They'll sell their pieces and plan for the future instead of try to add to the team or make the team better. So I think AA deserves a ton of credit for that, and the trades that he made, man, are paying off in such a huge way this postseason. Going out and getting Eddie Rosario, who was on fire last night. We all know the Jock Peterson story. He's been awesome. Adam Duvall, which I don't know why the Braves didn't re-sign him last offseason anyways, had to trade for him again from the Marlins. And then they also went out and got Jorge Soler. Those 4 guys in 101 plate appearances this postseason, they're hitting .341 with 6 homers and 21 RBIs in 8 games. It's been truly remarkable. And then you look at the Dodgers roster with Justin Turner at third and Trey Turner at short, Corey Seager at second, Mookie Betts, arguably the best player in baseball, out in the outfield. You got Max Scherzer on the mound, Walker Buehler on the mound, several great bullpen pieces. The defending World Series champs are the Dodgers. It's remarkable. This Braves team really shouldn't even, from a talent perspective, from top to bottom, their roster really shouldn't even be in the playoffs. And they're the hottest team in the playoffs right now. Everything is going the Braves' way, which is weird because they're an Atlanta sports team. We'll see if they can finish the job. Big one tonight, but Braves get a huge attaboy. You can't understate just how remarkable what they are doing is.
Appy State beats 14th ranked Coastal Carolina last night, and Coastal have been running through competition left and right, and they hit a wall last night. Home game for App State. They get it done. First time beating a ranked opponent since 2007 when they beat Michigan on the road and shocked them. But big time defensive effort from App State, led by VFL Dale Jones. They've been putting up crazy numbers offensively, averaging 40-something points per game, and App State was able to hold Coastal to 27 points. So, attaboy to App State, but for me, the real attaboy, attagirl goes to Vol Nation for stepping up yesterday in a huge way. I've been getting thanked. Brent has been getting thanks, but it's all we did was just go forward with everybody's idea. You are the ones who are donating and sharing. So, national media, guys like Cole Kublik, really appreciate him. Really appreciate Chris Button for sharing. And there's national folks that understand the volunteer spirit, and really, really appreciate WBIR, WVLT, WATE for spending time with us yesterday and interviewing Brent and myself to continue to get the word across. They put it up on their website. It was a story yesterday in the news, and so attaboy, attagirl to everybody involved, and we are a third of the way there of our $455 goal, sitting at $38,500 right now. So keep it coming. Thank y'all so much. Y'all are real MVPs, attaboys and attagirls. Hour 2 is coming up. Hour 1 was brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. HappyHiller.com.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Good morning, Swain Event family. Several of you, like Ben McKee, have reached out to me for real estate assistance this year, and I want to say thank you. I appreciate your trust in me to ask questions and help you navigate the real estate world.
That's right, Jennifer. Buying a home is a scary process, especially for a first-time home buyer. Jennifer recently helped my wife and I buy our first home and made the entire process seamless. Her willingness to go above and beyond is what sets her apart.
As always, feel free to give me a call. Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hope you're having a great day. We are rocking and rolling into hour number 2. We are live from the Low T Center studio. Swain Event is fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Tennessee, Alabama this weekend, the 4th Saturday in October. It's a rainy morning here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Rainy. I'm looking at Alabama's defensive numbers for today's touchdown or turnover.
Do we have to?
I think so, Ben. This game is going to be played. It's going to be played, Ben.
Does that have to?
I mean,
low key hoping for a COVID outbreak.
No, no, you're not.
Starting with Henry To'oTo'o in the Alabama football program this week, so Alabama has to forfeit and Tennessee wins.
No, that has not happened one time this college football season anywhere that I can.
And you haven't really heard of players having to sit out due to COVID. You've had a couple of coaches have to miss a game. Didn't Lane miss like week 2 or something?
He missed a game.
And then there was 2 other coaches. I can't think of who.
I was hoping not to mention old boy's name today, but yeah.
Old boy being Lane?
Yeah.
He's been the least of Tennessee fans' worries since Saturday night.
Yeah. I did see him saying that they were
fortunate that the call went in their direction
and
on the overturned defensive touchdown. Said that Matt Corral said that he thought he heard a whistle, and that's why he stopped.
Which again still makes that
even more
makes it worse. It makes it worse because you would if that's what the referees are going by, then it would have been 4th down again for Ole Miss. They would have been able to run another play. But don't get me started. Don't get me started, man. Golly, don't get me started on that. I don't know why Alabama doesn't have like their defensive stuff here on their website, but anyways, I'm going to roll without it. I know Georgia right now is barely allowing any points on defense. They're the best defensive team in the country, and it's just really not close. And Georgia right now looks like they're the best team in college football, and that's just really a hard pill to swallow right now. I'm sorry, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. That doesn't mean they're going to win a championship. Doesn't mean they're going to be the best team when it matters the most, but they're the best team right now. And they could peak early, or this could be the same Georgia team we see in December. We don't know, Ben, so don't facepalm too much over there. We don't know.
Got any good Hendon Hooker updates for me that will lift my spirits? You just don't understand like how much this game means to me.
Excuse me?
Well,
who you talking to?
I know. You feel the same way. And I'm more so speaking to the air, not you directly. I know my words.
Yeah, you look forward. Don't even look at me.
To be fair, I was looking at that air vent.
Don't even look over here. Don't even look this direction.
I wasn't looking at you.
Look at the camera.
I'm just speaking out loud.
Look forward. Don't even look at me. Don't even look through your peripheral. Don't even do that.
I'll close my left eye so I can't see.
Yeah, close your left eye. Close it. Wear an eye patch on your left eye. Don't even look over here.
I know my words were directed at you, but I was more so speaking into the air. Just I hate that this game does not warrant a big game type of feel like the Ole Miss game right now. And I just don't look forward to Saturday because more than likely we know what the outcome is going to be, and I'm going to catch crap about it for definitely the next week, and if not the next 365 days. At least you don't have to worry about that. You don't have anybody coming at your neck if Tennessee loses on Saturday night.
No, because all my friends were at the game. We play Alabama, and I put that work in on them. So I've never really gotten crap from my friends about Alabama.
Okay, but that was 20 years ago.
I know, but my friends are the same age as me. Your friends are the same age as you. And so they are living in this moment when Alabama is beating Tennessee. So that's why I don't get crap from my friends.
Yeah,
like that.
but they're not going to give me crap about where Tennessee's been the last decade. They're going to give me crap about Saturday night specifically.
I know, Ben, I know that. Your friends went to school at the same time when Alabama was beating Tennessee. So y'all are kind of right off of graduating at your schools and still talking trash. My friends, 20 years ago or 15 years ago or whatever, like they tried to trash talk at the beginning before we start playing Alabama, but I always balled out. So they never like really trash talk me about Alabama, even now, like because they just don't.
Why?
I don't know. You gotta ask them. I don't know.
Balling out 15, 20 years ago has nothing to do with.
They don't trash talk me about the teams
weekend.
now. They don't.
I know. I just think that's weird because you're not playing on these teams.
No, but like they were closer to it when they were a little bit younger, when they didn't have families and other responsibilities, big responsibilities, like they do now. So like a lot of your friends, probably don't have huge families and 2 or 3 kids married. So like, yeah, they're Bama fans and yeah, they're passionate, but it's just different. It's just different. So I don't get trash talk from my Bama friends.
Must be nice.
I just don't. And maybe once you're 37, 38 years old, the trash talk will be a little bit different than it is now for you. Because it's just other stuff that matters too, besides just bragging rights on football teams.
My friends are petty. They will always remind me if Alabama beats Tennessee, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
But when the day comes that Tennessee beats Alabama, they're going to get it right back.
Man, when is that going to be?
Hopefully soon.
Within the next 3 years?
I mean, I would not bet for it. I've lost 14 in a row. Like, I'm not.
Hey,
I'm in believe it when I see it mode.
Yeah, I mean, hey, next 3 years,
and it's not like you're trying to knock off Florida, who's a good football program, but it's also beatable. You're trying to knock off the greatest college football coach in the history of college football.
Yeah, one game. I mean, listen, man, that Texas A&M team can do it. I mean, in 3 years, I would hope that Tennessee's in a position where they can do the same thing. I mean, they did it with a backup quarterback.
Well, yeah, but are you gonna sit here on Thursday, October 21st, and answer the question that you asked me?
Yeah, I should expect Tennessee to beat Alabama in 3 years because Butch Jones in the third year had the lead in the fourth quarter, and it was right there.
Yes.
Had the horses to be able to do it. I feel like in 3 years, Heupel should be able to build a team, have a quarterback, have a team in place to go toe-to-toe and be able to be right there to beat Alabama. So,
but do you think that they will? That was the question you were asking me.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think in 3 years we'll be going into that game like we are right now, where we feel like it's just not a chance, where it's going to be 2 or 3 scores and double-digit defeat. That's kind of how we feel now because we understand how lopsided the rosters are. But I think in 3 years I can't sit here and say, well, this field goal kicker is going to make it to win, or this field goal kicker is going to miss it to lose. Anything can happen in the course of a close football game. But I think in 3 years or so, that's the outcome that I'm expecting. Like, I'm expecting a few plays to determine the outcome on either side. That's what I'm expecting in 3 years.
Yeah, that's definitely the expectation. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Tennessee football, and we're going through a rebuild right now. But in 3 to 4 years, being 4-3 is not something that we're going to be happy about, like we talked about in hour one. Because again, at the end of the day, this is Tennessee football, and you can win a national championship at Tennessee. You can compete for SEC championships on a yearly basis if you are doing what you need to do year round. So that should be the expectation within 3 years, and it will turn into the expectation because again, right now it's all feel good because expectations are low. Mm-hmm. But the ultimate expectation for Josh Heupel is to get Tennessee back to a point of competing with Alabama, Florida, and Georgia on a yearly basis, and obviously getting some wins in the process. That is the ultimate expectation at Tennessee. So I would hope that within the next 3 to 4 years, Josh Heupel is at that point to where he can go toe-to-toe with Bama.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at right now, man. That's where I'm at. I understand that you have to build out the roster. Totally get it. But I think, that's plenty of time to, go out, recruit, get the transfer portal, and I will be expecting, Tennessee to be right there when it comes to the fourth quarter, where a few plays here and there should determine the football game. The game should be over in the third quarter. The game should be over in the second quarter, where you just clawing back because you got yourself down 28-0 or 28-3, something like that. So I'm just expecting a different outcome once this roster is in a better place. I think everyone could agree with that, based on what we've seen so far in the beginning of the season. So Alabama right now, defensively, they're giving up 300 yards per game. 300 yards per game. Touchdown turnover, Tennessee, total yards will be over 300 on offense. Alabama averaging 300 yards per game on defense, what they are surrendering. Will Tennessee surpass that number on Saturday? Will Tennessee's offense have more than 300 yards of total offense, touchdown, or turnover?
Are you going to tell me who is available and who's not available?
Nope. Nope.
If Hendon Hooker plays, I say touchdown. If Joe Milton plays, I say turnover.
What about Harrison?
Turnover. Hendon is Tennessee's only chance to get in over 300 yards of total offense. Harrison Bailey is just not ready right now. Joe Milton simply is a bad quarterback. And on top of Joe being a bad quarterback, in my opinion, he will likely be behind an offensive line that is missing at least a couple of starters. Cade, I think it's more likely that Hendon plays than Cade. And you have a backup right tackle that hasn't played a ton as a result of being a walk-on, and that was my point B, being a former walk-on. And congratulations to Dane Davis for ditching that walk-on tag. That's a huge accomplishment. But I mean, you saw on Saturday night where a lot of Tennessee's offensive line issues came from, and it was the right side of the offensive line. And now he's charged with going up against the best pass rusher in college football in Will Anderson. And simply put, it's not a matchup that goes in Tennessee's favor. So
pretty much
you'll have that in front of Joe. I'll be curious to see what they do with Cooper. Can he go? Do they hold him out for Kentucky? I think that if he can go, he will go, because like I said earlier in the week, Josh Heupel, his mind is just not wired that way to just wave the white flag for a game to try and get healthy for a perceived more winnable game. But you got offensive line issues up front in terms of health. I'm just not a fan of Joe Milton as a quarterback, so I don't see that offense getting to 300 yards. But Hendon Hooker, I think, can create some things for Tennessee and do some things that generate problems for Alabama. Not maybe necessarily in terms of winning the game, but in terms of putting up some yards. Tennessee can utilize his legs, and if Cade can't go, they're going to have to utilize his legs. That's for sure. He's the best passer on the roster. May not have the best natural arm talent, but I'm sorry, I'd rather have the best passer than the best arm.
Yeah.
And that's what Hendon Hooker is. So I think Hendon Hooker could get Tennessee to 300.
Yeah, I mean, if he plays, do we see more of him from the pocket? There's only so much you can do to keep him in the pocket from a play calling standpoint, but instincts, when those kick in and the pass rush is getting to you, you're going to have to run unless you just decide to go down and take the sack. So if Hendon plays, how does he handle that? Does he go down quicker to avoid further injury, or does he try to escape the pocket, make plays down the field with his legs, because that's what he's wired to do? So how will the injury from the Ole Miss game, how will it change how he plays in this game if he indeed play? I'm going touchdown. I mean, I think this offense is just built to get 150 yards per half. Like I mean, there's not a game this season where Tennessee has not gotten 300 yards in a game, but they have not played Alabama. And Alabama is the best team that they have played all season long. Now, Alabama's defense is not the defense that we expect when Nick Saban is a defensive guy and he's a head coach. The offense has kind of been ahead of the defense for a couple of years there at Alabama, but it's still filled with really good players and really good coaches. Can Joe or Harrison Bailey get you 300 total yards with them behind center? I would hope, with the tempo and being able to distribute the ball in the short and intermediate passing game. I would hope, but we would be if we were saying that, it wouldn't be because it's something that we have seen. It would be something that we think that they should be able to do without much evidence. Joe Milton is what he is. He's not a good college SEC quarterback right now. Does he have the tools? Yeah, physically he has the tools, but right now he's just not playing well. And I like what Velus Jones, had to say. Like you gotta have your teammates back. If that teammate is carrying himself the right way when he messes up. And we had someone on the text box earlier talk about or ask the question about Joe, maybe addressing the team. I would in that situation, but I don't know or have heard that he has done that. But I would address the team, as a quarterback in that situation. Clearly, it was a mistake. Velus Jones, spoke about that. Velus Jones looked at himself. He made a mistake, muffing a punt early, but he did come back and put this team in a position to go win the game with his punt return late in the game. He made some great plays on offense too, so he bounced back. Number 0 from Ole Miss had a touchdown drop earlier and couldn't shake it. Like, he couldn't shake the bad play. He had bad play on top of bad play on top of bad play. He had 2 touchdown drops and a holding call on the outside. He just had a bad day. That started off with a missed pass on touchdown, but he just never got better. The thing you can say about Velus is that he did shake the muff punt and continue to make big plays for his team.
He came back and returned the final punt of the game, 40 yards, to give his team a chance to win the game. That was a great play on that last punt return, and he kind of went in detail of what he saw on that final punt before Hendon got hurt and Joe had to come in the game. That the Ole Miss punter boomed it off his foot, so he knew that was going to give him a chance to get a return off because he knew that the punter had outkicked his coverage, quite literally, and all of Ole Miss's players were running directly toward him, and he knew he had the field side wide open and took off, and his athleticism took over, and he had a lane and had the angle, had the edge, and he was off to the races and got Tennessee around midfield and gave Tennessee a chance to win the game.
Heck yeah.
And that takes a lot to overcome that muffed punt and to snap and clear, bounce back.
Yep. He bounced back, and that's just what you have to do. You have to do that even when you make a good play or even when you make a bad play early. You have to forget it and play the next play. And that's what Velus did with the support of his teammates there on the sideline. That's what a team is all about. A team with a healthy locker room and a healthy culture. That's what you see. That's what's supposed to happen. So You saw that because you just never know, man. You might need a player later to make a play to win the game. Just because a kicker misses a kick early, you may need that kicker later to kick the game-winning field goal. And Joe Milton, so far at the beginning of the season, just hasn't been what we expected. Hasn't been what the coaches expected. But you still don't throw him away if you're the coaching staff, because you never know. You may need him. You never know. We were almost forced into a position where Hendon may not play for the rest of the season. And you still got games out there to play that will help you get to your goal, which is becoming bowl eligible. So the touchdown for me, man. I think regardless of who the quarterback is, man, they should get to 300 yards. We're talking 150 a half. 150 a half. Come on. 150 a half. Had 400 yards against Florida. 150 a half. Come on. But Hendon was quarterback.
What did Mike Leach's offense have this past weekend when they put up 9?
Our offense is better than Mike Leach's. Way better than Mike Leach's.
Without Hendon Hooker?
Hey. That's the question.
Well, I can tell you the answer. It's no. It's not.
That's the question. I mean, this offense, Hendon is important. There's other guys making plays as well too, and here you are mid-season. You should be in mid-season form. You should be doing what you're supposed to be doing, feeling more comfortable. So that's the question. I'm going to lean towards hitting that 300-yard threshold if Hendon doesn't play, or if he does play. We'll see. Hour 2 continues after this.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com.
Hey there, Swain Event listeners. I'm excited to share my new Keller Williams Realty app so you can tour homes without leaving yours. Not only can you search for homes in specific areas and neighborhoods, you can also have access to real-time market snapshots on stats like average home price and days on market, plus commute times from your office, school zones, and much more. Download my app today and get the most accurate information on buying, selling, and investing in real estate in your area. Just search for the Keller Williams Realty app and click on More in the lower right-hand corner. Type in Jennifer Morris in the Your Agent search bar, then save and you're set. And as always, feel free to reach out at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Eight 865-255-03. Brad says 200 yards per half minimum. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. I'm actually stretching it by saying we're gonna have 300 yards of total offense against this Bama team, with or without Hendon. Like, I'm stretching it. I am stretching it because Ole Miss with Matt Corral had 290, 291. Now, they probably would have had it if they decide to maybe a little bit more conservative on fourth down, and play maybe the field position game a little bit better. But Ole Miss had 291. 291.
Mississippi State had 299 last week.
And they don't run the ball at all, right?
Guess how many rushing yards they had?
Less than 50.
Yes.
Oh, you mean really guess? 37.
You're giving them too much credit.
Wow.
-1 rushing yard.
Wow.
19 rushing attempts for -1 rushing yard. Now, I would love to know how many times they were sacked. The stats that I am looking at do not tell me that.
Wow.
7 sacks. So that played a role in
there it is.
in the -1 rushing yard. Let's look at Mississippi State's backs. 7 carries for 24 yards. Will Rogers, the quarterback, who was sacked 7 times, had -41 rushing yards. So a large part of -1 rushing yard was because of the sacks. And in college, they don't separate the two like they do in the NFL. But still, -1 rushing yard. And to hear SEC Network analysts talk about it, it's because Mike Leach refuses to give his tackles any help, and apparently he splits them out wider than typical offensive lines do. And he does not give them any help. Does not help chip with a back or a tight end. They are on an island alone. And last weekend they were on an island alone against Will Anderson. Not a recipe for success.
Not at all. Not at all. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. John K. talking about JL's comments on YouTube, playing gotcha. Yeah, a lot of people was wrong about Joe Milton, what he could do. Even the coach that we have talked about being awesome and doing more with less and being an offensive wizard, and Josh Heupel, he was wrong too. There's a lot of us wrong. Joe Milton made a lot of us wrong because we saw his physical talent. We didn't know if it was Michigan or if it was him. Right now, we can say it's him. It's him. So, you got us, JL. You got us. They got us.
Well, and I
They
think
got us.
part of it
Everybody was wrong about Joe Milton.
was that Tennessee did not know what it had in Hendon Hooker. And I made this point several weeks ago that I think that Tennessee did not – it's not even I think. I know Tennessee did not realize what it had in Hendon Hooker because in the spring, during fall camp, Hendon Hooker is in a red non-contact jersey. He cannot be hit in practice. Obviously, he's a quarterback. So what does Hendon do best? Running the football. He's at his best when the ball is in his hands, and he's toting that thing. And he can't really display his toughness, which Josh Heupel, Alex Golish, those guys have talked about over the last couple of weeks. Like, hey, why did this guy start? And they have said publicly that they didn't realize how tough Hendon Hooker is. And you just can't account for that during fall camp when he's in a red non-contact jersey. And not only the toughness aspect, but in fall camp, a defender gets close to Hendon after he takes off running the football and the play is blown dead. So you can't even really see his ability to make guys miss either in practice because he's not live. So I think that's the big thing as to why Hendon started on the bench. I do think Tennessee prefers to have the big arm quarterback like Joe Milton, but obviously the big arm does you no good if you can't complete the passes.
I think every coach prefers that.
Yes, but specifically in this offense, which doesn't really utilize the intermediate passing game, they really like to take shots deep. I mean, it's a screen to the perimeter, a deep shot, or handing the football off, or Hendon taking off. I mean, that's what Tennessee's offense is.
I understand that, but having a big arm is not just about throwing deep balls. It's about having an arm strength to be able to fit in tight windows, even in intermediate passing game or even in quick game. You know, a slant thrown by a weak arm quarterback is a little different than a slant thrown by a quarterback that can throw that pill. He can fit it in windows. He can throw with anticipation. The ball gets there faster. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think every coach would prefer a big arm quarterback, but it comes with the mental part and it comes with the ability to put touch on the ball when needed. I remember when Josh Allen was drafted out of Wyoming, and we were like, okay, all right, didn't play for a big team, whatever, but you saw the mobility and you saw the arm strength. And there's only a few dudes on the planet that can throw the ball like Josh Allen, but you see him and Mahomes and like why they're different because the throws that they are able to make, not just deep throws, Ben, but the throws.
They can make all the throws.
The throws they make when they're on the run, going to their left, going to their right, like their arm strength, they can throw from different arm angles and arm levels, and it gets there's zip on it. So I totally get what you're saying. Like the deep shots was something that, I think the staff knew they had to do, and Joe Milton's arm certainly made you think that you can do it. And when you were talking about Hendon Hooker and his running ability and how it's really hard to see that in fall camp with a first-year player here at Tennessee and a first-year staff and a new system, it's hard to see that when you have your quarterbacks in non-contact jerseys. But that's not like a huge ding for Heupel, though. It's not like, oh my gosh, if he would have just played Hendon, and I can't believe he didn't play Hendon. Like everyone knew it. It's not like that because it's understandable. Like the changes with the personnel that we've seen this season, it's understandable.
And this staff didn't bring Hendon in.
Well, it's understandable because quarterback is not the only position where that's happened. It's happened in other positions. There's a new group of receivers playing now that was playing against Florida, that was playing against Bowling Green. So you can try to create as many game scenarios as you want in practice. It's still not the game. And a guy may look good in practice, and he may look good under these game scenarios that you have created. But you really know a lot about a player when you get into the games. And not just quarterback, but receiver and other positions, there were guys that played less, they're now playing more, and there's guys that's playing more, they're now playing less. And so it's a understandable process when you have a first-year coaching staff. Like, it's not the first time this has happened. It happened with Kiffin when he got Crumpton. He didn't know first game that Crumpton's better throwing on the run. He didn't know that. But as soon as he realized that, he started playing towards his strengths.
Which is what this staff has done with Hooker.
Yeah, like, you know, if I'm a receiver and I can only play one position, but I come into the season or I come into a game where for the first time I'm trying to put you in different positions because I want to get you the football. But you can't handle all that information. It slows you down. But okay, now you make the adjustment. Okay, well, I tried to do this with this player. I thought I could do this with this player, but I can't. So let me make the adjustment. Let me give him let me give him less on his plate so he thinks less. So what Heupel and company did early in the season, it is a understandable adjustment. It's not a must, like, oh my God, I can't believe they didn't play Hendon from the get-go. Well, how was they supposed to know Hendon was going to play the way he played?
He's also just not as, I know this may sound a little crazy, but he's not as flashy as a Joe Milton. Not the highly ranked guy. Doesn't have the big arm. Doesn't have the flamboyant personality that Joe has. He doesn't stand out. Hendon's a big old boy, but I mean, Joe's different size-wise. So Joe's a little flashier than Hendon as well, and maybe not the sexy pick per se, but I always thought that he would maybe prove to be the most consistent. I remember talking about that first week of fall camp, that based off of the intel that we were getting from practice and from the summer, like, hey, Joe is flashing this big arm, but maybe consistency is an issue. And I brought up on the show that, hey, I'd keep an eye on Hendon Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
I think he may prove to be the most consistent, and over time he has done that. And I don't bring that up to pat myself on the back. I bring that up because that's been the difference between Joe and Hendon. Hendon is, although Joe's a vet too, Hendon prepares like a vet and acts like a vet throughout the week and treats the game like a vet literally during the game on Saturdays. He doesn't get rattled, and he's always doing exactly what he is supposed to do at all times because he is far more consistent than Joe is.
Ken says that the coaches never watch his film at Virginia Tech. Watch 2 minutes of that, and you've seen that he's an excellent running quarterback. Wouldn't have needed fall camp contact. Well, Hendon's success is not just because he can run the football.
He's thrown the ball better than I thought he would.
Yeah. I mean, he has improved as a passer since Heupel and company have been here, because now Heupel knows what he's good at and what he's not good at. Part of coaching is playing to a player's strengths. Playing to a player's strengths. So as time goes along, you know more about that player on the field, off the field, and now you know how to use them better. So I'm sure this coaching staff now versus fall camp knows what Hendon is good at, knows what he's not good at. You know what you want to do with him and play towards, and you know where you want to stay away from with Hendon. So and it's just not running either. It's the intangibles, it's all the other stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet of why Hendon has been successful. It's the it factor. It's the it factor. It doesn't show up anywhere on Google. It doesn't show up on the stat sheet. So
I know one thing. I am a huge Hendon Hooker fan. I just love everything about Hendon Hooker, quite frankly, and am developing quite the man crush on Hendon, and I am not ashamed to admit it. He's a fun football player to root for. He seems to be a really good person to root for. I thought our friend who called in yesterday and shared the story about his mom, who is battling breast cancer and has, I guess, developed a relationship with Hendon Hooker's mom, or sees them at the games, and Hendon's mom told her that she's been praying for her. I thought that was very telling of also where Hendon comes from. He's just a fun football player and a good dude to root for. And I am so glad that his injury wasn't season ending, because even if he doesn't play on Saturday, get this week off, get the bye week off, come back, and the stretch of Kentucky, Georgia, South Alabama, and Vanderbilt, it'll be fun to watch him play football. And I can't wait for him to come back next year and be the guy throughout the offseason and continue to build rapport with the receivers, although the veterans will be gone, and that'll be a huge emphasis this offseason. And watch him play a full season as the guy, I'm excited about that.
The hype will be enormous next year for him if he is returning to be Tennessee's quarterback in his last year. And he does have the opportunity if he wants to take it. The hype will be enormous. Now, you mentioned the new faces on the outside with the pass catchers, and that's going to play a part. But we saw how quickly he was able to build that chemistry and rapport with, Javonte Payton and Avalis Jones. And he just met these dudes. So if Tennessee's able to go out and get some grad transfer receivers, or hit some guys from the transfer portal that has some experience, we've seen that Hendon can develop that chemistry quickly with an experienced receiver. So if Heupel's able to go out and get those players, man, you got Jacob Warren coming back. You got some guys' experience coming back on the outside.
I think Princeton Fant comes back as well.
Yeah, so I mean,
you have your two tight ends. You have your backs.
The Hendon hype could be serious. The Hendon hype could really be serious this offseason, because what he's done so far this season. Now, if he can get back to playing to that form, close. Don't know how the injury is going to impact that. Then we're gonna see some crazy hype surrounding Hendon, and he deserves it. Now, there's going to be some movement, I think, with the quarterback position. Outside QB number 1.
Yes.
There's a possibility that Harrison Bailey's on the move, and will he go inside or outside the SEC, or will he stay? Again, I don't see Harrison playing here anytime soon, so I would imagine that him on the move is something that we're going to see. Joe Milton, I don't see why he would continue to sit there behind Hendon. You got a freshman quarterback coming in, and that's athletic and can throw the.
But you don't want him being QB2.
No, I mean
right away.
I mean, you not right away at all. But I think the reality of the situation is what upperclassman quarterback is okay with sitting at 3 and 2. I think a more realistic situation is you have a freshman quarterback at 2, but you don't want him to play.
Yes.
You really don't want him to play. Best case scenario, your number one guy stays healthy, he's doing his thing, and if the freshman quarterback goes in, hopefully it's not more than 4 games.
The problem is, I think this year has proven, at least in my opinion, I don't disagree with you, but if I'm Tennessee's coaches, I don't take that approach this offseason. I'm going out and trying to find a guy, because twice this year it's looked like Hendon has suffered a major injury.
Yeah,
looking back at the Tennessee Tech game when he fumbled, I know he didn't miss any time he was in the next series, I think, but he took a nasty hit, not a nasty hit. It kind of looked like his knee just got driven into the ground against Ole Miss. But if he's going to be running as much as he has, I think you have to prepare for a backup quarterback that isn't a true freshman.
But who wants to sign up to do that?
Yeah,
it sounds good.
And yeah, I completely agree.
It's hey man, go. The tallest building in Knoxville, that window needs to be clean. Somebody should go do it. Right. Yeah, that sounds good, but who's signing up to do it?
Not me. No, I'm with you. And even if you find a guy that is willing to be the backup, which I don't know that I want a guy that's willing to be a backup in the first place. But the guy that is going to be willing to be a backup to Hendon Hooker isn't going to be very good. You're not going to find a good quarterback in the portal that is going to be willing to be a backup quarterback.
No, not willing to be a backup quarterback. All right, let's go to the phones.
We got David in Ackworth.
David, good morning.
Mr. Swain, Mr. McKee, how are we doing this morning?
We're good, Dave. How are you?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful. Hey, Ben, I'm going to take a little umbrage with what you said about the difference between Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker.
Ben, hold on, Dave. Ben's answering the phone right quick. I know you are addressing him. All right, Ben is putting his headset back on. All right, Ben hears you now. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay. So, Mr. McKee, I'm going to take you to task a little bit about what you said about Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton and the difference between the two. And I'm not. Look, I know some people will call him soft. I'm not going to do that. I never played football. I never call anybody that played football soft ever. But I think there's players that are tough and have, I don't want to say seek out contact, but don't shy away from contact. And I think there are players that aren't. And I think that's the big difference between these two players. I get it. I think Heupel and the fans and everybody has tried to make Joe Milton out to be this dual threat quarterback who, and kind of interchanging Milton and Hooker. And let's be honest, I think Joe Milton is a pocket passer. I've heard his coach, his quarterback coach, say he's a pocket passer, not a dual threat running back. I think as much as they talk about him, Bailey not being a fit for this offense, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Joe Milton is either. And I think Joe Milton would be better in a pro-style offense where he could sit in the pocket and throw the football. And now I still don't think he's going to be accurate enough to be successful in that. But I think there is a world of difference between these two guys. And I think we all tried to project because of his size and his athletic ability to be this, second coming running the football of who knows what. I don't know. I can't even think of another guy his size that runs the football like that. Heck, maybe you got what's his face, Tebow down in Florida from years ago. He was not that tall, but he was that build. And we all know that guy didn't run away from contact.
No.
So I just think that there's a world of difference. I think it's more than just the flashiness of the style. I just think we all believed that Milton was going to be this guy, and in reality, he's this guy. And I think Heupel tried to turn him into the dual threat, but he's a pocket passing quarterback who does not like contact. And that's where he needs to go find a place somewhere where somebody can take him as a pro style quarterback and make him excel. That's just my opinion.
I agree with everything you just said, so I'm confused on what you disagreed with me saying.
Well, you said the only thing that was different between the two was I think that Milton was a little bit was flashier, and I just think there's a whole lot of difference between the two.
And I was talking personality wise and trying to show off. Joe Milton's more flamboyant, and Joe Milton likes to show off that big arm, and I think that is something that the coaches were looking for, because people like JL want to come at Swain and me and everybody for hyping up Joe Milton, but where do y'all think the hype came from?
No, I think the hype was justified. I mean, I agree with you on this. You're not contacting in spring ball, and for him, Milton didn't have spring. But there's no contact in fall ball. Mm-hmm. They have no way of knowing that when he's getting ready to have contact, that he basically stop running, pull up, which is really weird. Mm-hmm. I don't think of all the times he's run, which hasn't been a lot, but he's certainly run some. I don't think he's ever initiated contact. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's always kind of got ready to. He's bracing for the contact. I don't know if I've ever seen a running quarterback do that. And but I guarantee you, they didn't see any of that in fall ball because, like you said, there's no contact. Yep. And speaking of that, Mr. Swain, why is there no contact on the quarterbacks in college in practice? And I understand you don't want to get them hurt. When did this shift occur? You played long enough ago. Were the quarterbacks being hit in practice in your day?
No, and they wasn't hit before. I mean, I've heard stories about, when T. Martin knew that his teammates embraced him. When he knew his teammates embraced him is when Al instructed the defense, y'all, don't touch 17. We need 17. So that's 98. So, and the reason why is because you don't want your quarterback getting hurt. Simple as that. I mean, you don't want to get close. You don't even want to get close because you don't want his hand to hit someone's helmet, when he's throwing and following through. So it's just not worth it. Like the risk to reward, it's a bigger risk than reward to have your quarterback getting hit in practice. You rather say, okay, well, if you don't, if you shy away from contact in the game, and we can address that if that's a problem. And if you can't slide, we can address that if it's a problem when we get there. And if we have some ball security problems, we can address that in practice to simulate some full contact. But it's not worth having your quarterback be subjected to hits like everyone else. It's not worth it.
Unless it's Jawan Jennings and you're trying to get him to move back to receiver.
Yeah, unless it's Jawan Jennings and you want to convince him to play receiver instead of playing quarterback. You let him get hit behind the walk-on offensive line. Make him want to play receiver instead of quarterback.
I tell you what, I'd like to have him running this offense at times if we couldn't have a real quarterback. He would be really interesting behind with Heupel coaching him. I think that would be pretty interesting. Yeah. Now that you said that, but and I appreciate that. I get it. I just think I guess the other thing I didn't understand, you would have thought maybe they could see, and maybe he wasn't. I guess I've even heard people say, could they have watched the Virginia Tech game highlights and see what they had in Hooker? But my understanding is he's playing at a whole different level now than he was back then. And I guess there was even a knock on him not being maybe the toughest guy. Didn't he take himself out of a cold game or something? And
that's the way Virginia Tech spun it.
Yep. So which seeing him play, I mean, that's hard to believe he would do that. That's just really hard to believe.
Yeah.
But
well, Dave, thank you so much for the phone call. We up against it, and we got to understand something too. Like if Hendon was playing the way he's playing now at Virginia Tech, he would be at Virginia Tech. He wasn't playing a certain level, and now he is. And you can attribute that to maturity on his part, on improvement on his part, and a good fit with Coach Heupel. I'll tell you one thing I do disagree with Dave on.
Joe Milton being a pocket passer?
No, not that.
You can't be a pocket passer if you can't throw the ball accurately.
No, obviously, but that's not like this notion that in this offense it takes a dual threat quarterback to be successful. I think that's false. It's false. I don't think it's false. It's false. If you are a good offensive coach, you can do whatever with any type of quarterback. And Josh Heupel has proven that he can do that. He has taken Drew Lock. He has taken Dylan Gabriel. He has taken Hendon Hooker, and he's produced offense with different quarterbacks. So this offense is not predicated on a running quarterback. It helps to have a quarterback who can run if he can also throw the football. But this offense is built around tempo. That's one thing we can say. Mm-hmm. It's about tempo. And Heupel can probably have success offensively without it. But one thing we can say is that this offense is built on tempo. It's not built on a running quarterback. Because if you take a quarterback that's super accurate and he is controlling the pace of the game, he is being the leader off the football field, he instills confidence in his teammates, trust in his teammates, he don't have to have one rushing yard. The offense is still potent. If the offensive line is moving the line of scrimmage and you're running the football down team's throat and, you're hitting them with the, some zone reads and the quarterback is running, 8 miles per hour barely, but he's still picking up a first down because he's tricked the defensive end. And then you have the RPO game. You can have a quarterback that's not a dual threat quarterback in this offense and still be successful.
But you do prefer one.
If you can get the best of both worlds. If you can get the best of both worlds. Absolutely. I mean, ideally you want the best of both worlds, but you don't have to have it to be successful on offense. That's why I disagree with Dave. Yeah, I disagree with Dave on that one. You don't have to have it. But, man, if you can find someone that can do both really well, and go find me a handful of guys or a big number of guys that do both at a really, really high level. It's hard to find. Hour 3 coming up.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Swain Event and SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Hour number 3 here on the program, brought to you by Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Man, it's always fun talking quarterbacks. Always fun talking quarterbacks, especially in an offense where you have a head coach that used to be a quarterback and a head coach that has so much influence on the offense. So the quarterback position is always fun to talk about. Always. ATL VFL says, I'm really hoping Taven Jackson can do both well. Taven Jackson, from the looks of it, watching his film, he can do both well in high school. Can he do both well in college? And I'm with you, ATL VFL. I hope that he can do both well here in college. But you go watch him play, he can do both well. He can do both well.
He is what Tennessee's coaches want.
Yeah.
He can do both at the high school ranks, and now it's up to Tennessee's coaches to get that out of him at the college level. Again, like Swain said last segment, you don't have to have somebody that can run, but it sure does. It sure does help if you can find a guy that runs, because if Matt Corral can't run, Ole Miss doesn't win that football game.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was interesting. This is a thought I had this morning when I was driving over. Tennessee rushed for about 60% of the time, and dropped 7, which isn't completely out of the ordinary. And I'm referencing this because in the past, specifically the Arkansas game last year when Matt Corral threw 6 interceptions, the big storyline was, whoa, Barry Odom only rushed 3 and dropped 8 the entire game. And so that's why I'm referencing Tennessee bringing 4 60% of the time. They didn't really bring an extra blitzer that often. And I think it was because Tim Banks was trying to see whether or not Matt Corral would take the bait or not. And in the past, Matt Corral has gotten himself into trouble because he would try to force the ball. He would try to force the ball downfield, and he wouldn't take what the defense was giving him. And he wanted the explosive play. He wanted the 60-yard touchdown pass every single play. He would not take what the defense is giving him. So I think Tim Banks went with that approach of okay, let's see if Matt is going to take what we're giving him this game. And that's why you saw Tennessee hold up fairly well in coverage on Saturday night. But it's also why Matt Corral was able to take advantage of Tennessee, because he has changed as a quarterback. And at the end of the day, I think you have to really tip your hat to Matt Corral, because he has significantly improved at the quarterback position, not from a skill set, but from a mental standpoint. He's always had the skills, but because he's taken that step of maturity and step of football IQ of being more than happy to take what the defense is giving him, he was able to run all day long.
That's right.
So Matt Corral can run. Lane Kiffin, Jeff Lebby's offense doesn't have to go as Matt Corral's legs go. They can win with him not running the football. But it sure does help when he can run the football, because when you get into a situation like an Arkansas game, like a Tennessee game, and the defense is dropping a lot in coverage the majority of the time, then you can take advantage of it with your legs. It puts a lot of stress on the defense. I asked Theo Jackson about that, because Theo gets caught in kind of no man's land. Not his own fault, but just the way college football is nowadays, and his position, the star position of Theo having to account for a tight end or a receiver or a back. He has to account for somebody running a route while the quarterback is rolling out, and Theo is caught in between making a decision of, okay, do I continue with the receiver that's running a route, or do I take off after the quarterback? I asked Theo about that this week, and he said it definitely adds to the stress level, but you just have to trust your teammates that they are also doing what they are doing, so that you can make the right decision and go make a play. So you don't need somebody that runs the football first and foremost to succeed in this offense, but it sure does help because it puts a lot of stress on the defense when they have to defend both.
The need for some folks to have a dual threat quarterback in this offense, I understand.
It's sexy.
Because if you are creating a player on Madden, of course you want every player to be fast.
Like
Of course you want every player to if you're a quarterback, throw it great. If you are a receiver, catch everything. If you're a running back, be able to break tackles on top of being fast. There has to be a balance, because if there's not a balance, then you have 8 guys in a box saying, all right, well, we dare you to throw it. Go ahead, throw it. We just corral you, make you throw it. We know that you can't beat us. It has to be a threat. It has to be a threat of getting beat in the passing game. And if you can have that, oh, yeah, bring on dual threat quarterbacks. When you look at some of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country heading into this season, on top of Matt Corral, some of the names that you would point to would be Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Sam Howell's pretty mobile, is he not?
Yes.
In North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Derek King's pretty mobile, is he not? We saw that early in the season. He can throw it better than Nick Marshall from Auburn 2013. So there's 4. How about DJ Uiagalelei? How about him, Clemson? I mean, he can run it if he needs to.
Big old boy.
And supposed to be a dual threat quarterback. He's not having the best year right now, and offensively they've lost a lot of pieces. Dabo didn't do a good job of replacing those players, but it's been more reasons than just DJ's play of why the offense has not been great. But like, he is also considered someone that's dual threat. Now I'm not gonna throw in JT Daniels at all. But Malik Willis at Liberty, someone that can do it both. Grayson McCall at Coastal Carolina. So there's like Desmond Ritter, I think at Cincinnati, is someone that I would consider dual threat who can make plays with his legs too and good with his arm. So like we see these type of players at different places, but not all of them are having the success that you would think they would have, being someone that is a dual threat that can do both. So I would prefer a guy that can do both. But I don't need a guy to run the football to be successful in this offense. But if he can do both, watch out. You have what you had on Saturday and Matt Corral. when he can do both.
And Hendon put in the team on his back in the second half.
Yeah.
Hendon had some big chunk yards that he gained on the ground on top of making some nice throws as well.
Yeah.
It's
a nice thing to have both, but you can't ever sacrifice being able to throw from the pocket for a quarterback who can run. Like, you have to have both.
You'd rather have a one-dimensional guy that can throw the ball than a one-dimensional guy that can't throw the ball.
Exactly. So that's my point that I'm making. That let's not feel like we need to have a guy that can run. Let's want one that can do both, but let's understand that if you had to make a choice between a guy that can throw, make all the throws, but can't run, and a guy that can't throw but can run, I'm taking Casey Clausen type.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm taking.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, I'm taking that. I'm taking Matt Jones. I'm taking Casey Clausen over the quarterback that can just run but can't throw at all. That's what I'm taking. So
Cam Newton.
I don't know, man. I'm taking Auburn 2010 Cam. That dude was.
I'm thinking NFL Cam.
Oh, okay. I'm taking 2010 Cam.
Yeah, but in college you can get away with it.
Yeah, you can.
In the NFL you can't. And
yeah.
maybe we need to keep the college conversation and not incorporate NFL names.
Yeah.
But to Dave's other point about Joe Milton needing to be in a spread offense, I don't believe that Joe would be successful in any offense because he's not a pocket passer.
He's not playing well right now, man. Simple as that. I agree with you. He would struggle in any offense right now. He got to play better. So
I think it's more than just simply not playing well. Not saying that you disagree, but I'm willing to take it a step further and just say he's a bad quarterback right now, and it would not matter if he's in any offense. And I don't think moving to an offense that relies on him throwing the football a ton would do him any good because he's got a big arm. He can throw the football. He's not a passer. He can't throw with anticipation. He can't throw a guy open. He can't throw with touch. He can't throw with accuracy, which all those other three things I mentioned all tie in together. He's not a good passer.
Not right now. It's between his ears right now, man. And it's something I talked about on just Monday. I mean, I think I brought it up on Monday. I was like, if I'm close to Joe, I'm telling him, hey man, like it's above the shoulders. It's above the shoulders. It's not physical because he can do it. It's mental. He has to figure it out. It doesn't really matter where you go. It's about the change you make and the adjustment you make. It's not the environment. It's about you. It's not the coach, not the offense system. It's about him right now. So, anyways, Jared in Texas says, Swain, what world have you been living in? It hasn't been fun talking quarterback since Dobbs' bowl game in 2017. No, it hasn't been fun dealing with the quarterback stuff, honestly, especially in 2017 and since then. But it's fun when you have a guy like Josh Heupel that is a quarterback guy and who is a head coach.
And you have a guy like Hendon. It's been fun to talk about Hendon the last couple of weeks. It's not fun when the conversation extends to Joe Milton and Harrison Bailey, but when just speaking about Hendon Hooker the last couple of weeks, that's been fun.
Well, I mean, for me, it's just different when you have a head coach who's a quarterback guru. I know that Heupel has a track record, knows what he's doing. So yeah, obviously highlighting Hendon's amazing stretch run of just great quarterback play. Yeah, that's going to be fun. But like I'm okay talking about quarterbacks, period, now more now than ever because of Josh Heupel, to be honest. Connor from Georgia says, Swain, could Brent Schaefer throw it? I would question. He's a freshman, so that's why I'm trying to be careful here because he's a freshman. He was a freshman. He would have grown and developed if he continued to mature, and hopefully he would have been a better passer. But just taking Schaefer's freshman year and saying, all right, let's take Schaefer's freshman year and just throw him here in this offense, I think Schaefer would still struggle because accuracy was an issue for him. Now he can throw it far, he can throw it, but he didn't have the flick of the wrist like we've seen with Joe or Mike Vick or big arm quarterback like that. But he probably would struggle with accuracy in this offense for sure as a true freshman. Jared says, "Oh, it's fun now, but it wasn't fun talking Quentin, JG, and Maurer." No, it wasn't fun talking about Maurer. Do you think Corral had his Heisman performance against us? That is from Big Orange J. No, I think he's going to be against Mississippi State. That's when I think he's going to have it.
Unfortunately for him, there aren't many more games on the Ole Miss schedule that provide an opportunity for a Heisman moment.
I mean, Mississippi State, because it's a rivalry game. It's at the end of the season. I mean, I understand like the resistance won't be all that much because Mississippi State's not as good as Ole Miss. But typically
they're not bad defensively.
Typically those Heisman moments come at the end of the season. So
right, I'm saying there's not a lot of opportunities left because there's no top team remaining on their schedule.
So there's not opportunities against good defenses, is what you're saying.
Yeah, against top teams.
But there's plenty of opportunities for him to, have a Heisman moment. They just won't be a
But
good.
Heisman moments come from making big-time plays against big-time teams, and those big-time teams don't exist on Ole Miss's schedule. LSU, Auburn, A&M, Mississippi State. Solid teams, good teams, but when I think of Heisman moments, I think of great plays against great teams, and those great teams aren't on Ole Miss's schedule.
I mean, when RG3 beat Texas, I don't know how great Texas was that year, but it was a close game. It was a hard-fought game, and he just took over. Like he just took over that game. Louisville, when Lamar Jackson won it, I don't know how many great teams he played against, but like in those big games that he had, and especially late in the season when everybody's watching, that's when you make your move. That's when you go out there and you wow everybody.
Didn't Lamar beat Clemson? Didn't Lamar beat Clemson his Heisman year?
I don't know. But was it later on in the season? Because Louisville usually plays Kentucky late in the season during rivalry week. So there's something I have to look up about when Louisville played Clemson. But that's you can make the case that's kind of what hurt Peyton, because when Peyton is going up against Vanderbilt, Charles Woodson was going up against Ohio State. So I get what you're saying totally. But I don't know about winning. I don't know about sealing a Heisman in October.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah, like October. I don't think I've seen a guy seal the Heisman Trophy in October. That usually comes in November.
He did not beat Clemson his Heisman year.
Yeah.
Lamar, that is.
Lamar Jackson, got you. So, man, looks like Matt Corral is the favorite, man, and he should be. He should be. That performance was, I mean, he put the team on his back. They don't win without him. So let's go back to the phones.
Got Titans Bill.
Titans Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Jason. Let me get you off speaker, buddy.
That helps.
All right. You about to tighten up?
Okay. Yeah, buddy, tighten up. At least the Titan fans didn't throw things on the field Monday night.
They didn't have a reason to.
They didn't have a reason to. And I'll tell you what, I don't believe that Allen slipped. I believe somebody from the Titan defense tripped him up, and Jeffrey Simmons, to me, finished the job. You're saying, you're not going into no end zone, Mr. Allen, not on my watch.
That's right. Hey, defense stepped up, took advantage of a little miscue on the Bills' part, got the win, man. That was a big-time win against a Super Bowl contending team.
You got that right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we can also take the Chiefs. I'll tell you what, you think that the Titans defense.
Titans Bill, what's up with your phone, man?
Far more, huh?
Your service kind of breaking in and out on us.
Okay, can you hear me now, buddy?
It's funny because like when somebody says, "Can you hear me now?" It's like everything is good. Yeah, that was actually pretty clear, Titans Bill.
Okay, good deal. Hopefully for my birthday, I'll be getting a new cell phone.
Oh, when is that, Titans Bill?
November 19th. I'll be hitting the big 6'8".
Oh man, happy early birthday! Hopefully you call back before then, and we can sing you happy birthday.
Okay,
November, what day was that?
19th.
November 19th. Somebody put that on the calendar. All right, Titans Bill, go
my
ahead.
buddy and I is hopefully planning on going to see the Titans play Houston.
Oh, that's an easy win.
That's on the 21st.
That's an easy win.
Yeah, we thought that when they were playing the Jets, that was an easy win. It's the Titans are a strange team. They're up for these teams like Buffalo and Kansas City and Seattle, and it seems like they're flat against teams like the Jets. Well, they beat Jacksonville. But it's mostly these teams that are these crappy teams that they're always flat against, Jason. That's why I consider them a strange team.
They've been frustrating, but hey, maybe this win over Buffalo gets them playing more consistently.
Yeah, that's true. On another note, buddy, go ahead and try to blackmail the athletic department, Jeremy Pruitt. It's not going to work.
Yeah, Titan.
It is not going to work. Dr. Plowman and President Boyd and Athletic Director White is not giving in to your demands, Mr. Pruitt. And you're going to fight a losing battle, and all three of them is going to come out of there in flying colors.
You know what, Titans Bill? It's not just the athletic department. Like, you're trying to blackmail the university. And all Pruitt is doing is bringing everybody together. That's all he's doing. Like, all the internal stuff that happened in the past, all he's doing is making us come together to fight against him. That's what's going to happen. You threatening Barnes and top key-level boosters and VFLs and guys that are not even here anymore. Like, you just creating enemies all over. It's a bold strategy. I don't think it's going to work. Good to see Titans Bill. Good to hear Titans Bill happy after the Titans pick up a big win on prime time against a playoff Super Bowl contending team in Buffalo. A happy Titans Bill is a happy Swain event. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. Fall is here, and according to the big box stores, it's Christmas time too. This time of year is traditionally a busy one for the East Tennessee real estate market, and it will continue through the end of 2021 as well. Most people think the holidays aren't the right time to buy and sell. However, it is one of the best times to jump in the market. To find out more, just give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, at 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
The official UT license plates are available from county clerks' offices across the state of Tennessee. $15 of your $35 annual specialty plate fee will go support student scholarships. Talk to your county clerk or visit alumni.utk.edu for more information. As for the KA plate, which stands for Knoxville Alumni. Let's go to the phones. Get to Jay. Jay, good morning.
Swain, good morning, man.
What's up, Jay?
Hey, I know you played it looks like you played a big part on that children's hospital stuff, man. That's awesome. I'm glad you're doing that. I know that Pat Forty and Dan Wolken and all those people won't mention a word about that, but that's awesome that you're doing that. You've helped out with that, and kind of just shows the real spirit of the people of the East Tennessee region, I think.
100%, man. $40,331.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Swain and Ben, guys, how do y'all think Joe Milton is viewed in that locker room after that last play?
It depends on how he carried himself after that last play. If he was apologetic and remorseful and address the guys head on, then I think it could be okay. If nonchalant about it and don't want to address it, then I think it could be an issue. I don't know because I'm not in the locker room, and I really don't want to know right now.
Yeah, that's where I fall. I don't know and don't really want to give a perspective of it because I don't know. And I think I'll defer to Swain on this one because obviously he's been in that locker room when teammates have done silly things like what Joe did on Saturday night. So I don't know, and I don't really want to speak to it because I don't think that it would be fair to Joe.
No, that's understandable. I can never really understand. I can never really kind of get a feel for who's playing and who's not with Heupel's injury reports. I know it's no coach flat out just says it, but I am hearing that I've heard that Hendon is doing a lot better than they expected.
Yep.
But I really don't know what to believe honestly with his, because I've heard Heupel speak, and I'm thinking, okay, these guys right here, they're going to be playing, and then come Saturday, they don't play. So I'm like, well, so, I mean, what do y'all think? Do you think this is going to be Hendon's show Saturday, or are we running with the Rocket Man, Joe Milton?
I think we'll know Friday night, maybe.
We'll know Saturday night.
Or Saturday evening. I mean, that's. I think that's when you're gonna find out. That's why I don't even, let myself get my hopes up about finding out about a player's status when it comes to injuries any day before game day. Just because, doing the Big Orange countdown, we've gotten word right before the show goes on. And that show goes on an hour and a half before kickoff. So take that for what it's worth.
What? And when you look at Joe Milton's ability, that's the kind of quarterback that beats Alabama. But he has the one main key ingredient, and that's accuracy. He's missing that.
Yeah,
but
I think both guys possess the physical tools to beat Alabama. But
yeah. Well, yeah, I think so. But when you beat Alabama, you got to have a quarterback that's mobile, that's got a big arm, that can make some throws. That's the kind of QBs that beat Bama and that can stretch that ball down the field. I mean, those are the kind of QBs that these game managers don't beat Alabama.
Nope.
And so that almost gives you just a semblance of hope. But I don't know, man. It's God. If we lose this, it's going to be 15 years. I never thought when I was in Neyland Stadium in the 90s and they were singing "We Own Alabama," that there would come a time after beating them like 8 or 9 years in a row that there'd come a time where we've lost to this program 15 years in a row. I never thought that would happen here.
Yeah, me either.
And it's just mind-boggling. So
yeah,
I hope we go down there and play well. And if Joe Milton starts, then if nothing else, I hope the DBs try to intercept one of his rocket passes and it breaks their hand or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe he throws it through the stadium and ruins that stadium or something. Maybe we get something positive out of Joe Milton's arm strength.
Yeah, the players back him. I back the players. I back the decisions of the coaches there. I mean, they have certainly earned that based on what they've done since they've been here. Short amount of time, I think they've earned trust. So I'm gonna back them up until they give me a reason not to. So, and his injury makes it a little bit tougher on Tennessee because you still got some other games out there that you're gonna need Hendon to play in.
To Jay's question about Hendon and his skepticism of listening to Heupel talk about injuries, I do think that there is some legitimate hope that Hendon does play on Saturday. Now, it'll come down to how he's feeling on Friday and Saturday, like Swain mentioned a moment ago, but the proof is in the pudding this week. Heupel publicly has not really said much to inspire hope that Hendon will play, just continues to say that he'll be day-to-day. He said that on the SEC teleconference yesterday. He said that on Vol Calls last night. But as Austin Price and Brent Hubb said in their 2-minute drill on Tuesday, On Tuesday, Hendon was further along in his schedule to potentially being able to play than they expected at that point. And when I say they, I'm talking about Tennessee. They probably did not anticipate him practicing as much as he did on Tuesday. And that was Tuesday. And not saying that he was 100% and full go and 100% participant, but he was doing more than anybody anticipated. And I think that is a legitimate sign of hope that he can play on Saturday. Doesn't mean that he will, but if he's ahead of schedule on Tuesday, where's he today? Where's he tomorrow? Where's he on Saturday? So I do think there's some legitimate hope. And Heupel had some other interesting injury comments last night on Vol Calls, asked about Cooper Mays and said that he is close to being back. Close to being back is Cooper Mays. Cade Mays is day-to-day, but that he has, quote, opportunity to go in this one. So he said Cade was day-to-day and that he has an opportunity to go in this one. And then he also, unprovoked, mentioned Kayron Calvert as a guy who is working his way back from the biceps injury he sustained the first week of fall camp, and that he's starting to get some work in practice, is Kayron Calvert. That would be a huge boost, although there are several very important questions to ask when it comes to Kayron Calvert. How much rust will he have to knock off? It's late in the season.
Sure, he's been conditioning. It's not the same
Right,
football
but
conditioning.
I'm more so mentioning just like pure football.
Yeah.
Just purely playing
They'll
football.
definitely be rust, but you're right.
Right. I mean, it took Byron Young, he said he didn't feel a back until the Missouri game, which was 3 games after he had to sit out 2.
How much does it matter if it's better than what you have in there now?
Oh, I completely agree with that. But you would think that Cade Mays, unless further injury, you would think that Cade's back by then.
Yeah.
You would think that Cade is back by then. So I think a couple big questions to ask about Kayron Calvert. How much rust will need to be knocked off before they feel comfortable putting him in there, and kind of what you just said. And how much rust are you willing to work with if it's better than what you already have in the game? And B, is he coming back at 100%, or at what point, percent-wise, health-wise, are you willing to throw him in the game? I'd be curious to see what they did with the offensive line if Calvert is able to make it back this season, because I think Calvert would have started at tackle to start the season, at right tackle, and I think Cade would have slid inside to play guard. Probably over Spraggins. I think the starting 5. This is my speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. But I think the starting 5, if Calvert had been healthy, would have been from left to right: Darnell Wright, Jerome Carvin, Cooper Mays, Cade Mays, Kayron Calvert. So I'll be curious to see what they do with the lineup if they can, if Calvert can make it back. Granted, if guys continue to get banged up, that makes it a pretty easy decision. Cade's hurt, put Calvert at right tackle. You don't have to shuffle guys around. If Cooper's hurt, you put Carvin at center, put Cade at guard.
I know what Heupel said. I would be surprised to see, him back from a biceps tear. It's usually a all season type of injury, but hey, everybody's different, man. Everybody's bodies heal differently. I mean, to see Amari Rodgers tear his ACL in the spring and still be able to play in the fall for Clemson, it was just, it was remarkable. Some guys can't do that. So different guys healed differently. Somebody, may have that Wolverine healing power from X-Men. You just never know. Some guys take a little bit longer. So
back in fall, around the end of the first week of fall camp, when Kayron Calvert was sidelined with his biceps injury, Josh Heupel was asked and said Kayron did have surgery. He will not be with us for an extended period of time. I think I've said it before. The strength of one position cannot be one guy. The next guy has to step up and take advantage of the opportunity. So he was never ruled out for the season. I may be totally off on this, but I think a biceps injury is like 2 to 3 months.
I remember when Justin Harrell tore his, he was donezo, and he tore it against Air Force, which was the second game of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, he had NFL aspirations, so maybe that played a little bit into it as well. But like that was an end of the season injury for him.
But that's also middle of September, not first week of August.
Yeah, true. I mean,
so I don't. If you all had another month and a half of the season, would Justin been able to come back for a game or two?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Calvert being back would be a huge boost. And again, I don't even know what level of effectiveness he would be at, but is effectiveness a word? I think it is.
It is.
It didn't sound right when I said it.
It's all good, man.
You know, you say
let
things
it roll.
Sometimes, you say things sometimes and it doesn't sound right, or feel right coming off your tongue.
Let it roll.
Effectiveness did not come off the tongue, feeling all that great. But I know I've hammered home this point a couple times throughout the season, but you've seen especially this past weekend, the loss of Riley Locklear and K'Ron Calvert has significantly impacted this offensive line. It kind of gets lost in the shuffle because you forget about those guys as the season gets going. But how big would it have been to throw out Calvert at tackle when Cade got hurt? Legitimately might have been the difference in the football game. Or, I mean, Riley Locklear the past 2 seasons has played a ton of snaps at guard. How nice would it be for him to compete with Ollie Lane at that guard spot with Cooper being hurt? I mean, that could make a big difference as well.
Yeah. So the strategy going into this game with some of the guys banged up, Cade and Cooper, do you rest them one more week or do you throw them out there? I mean, we'll know Saturday, and we know that Alabama's the favorite. We're the heavy underdog, but this is something that we have mentioned this week. What message are you sending your team? Because you got some guys on this football team who are salivating and foaming at the mouth at a chance to knock off Alabama because they saw Texas A&M do it. But at the same time, are you a little hesitant about putting someone out there, making it worse for that person against a team that you might not have a chance to beat? So I'm looking forward to the report 2 hours before kickoff to see who's going to go. Tyon going to go?
Did you see my tweet from Nick Saban yesterday? Also, I'm very disappointed in you. I tweeted out former Vol Henry To'oTo'o, and no response from you.
I was busy yesterday, Ben.
I tagged you in it.
I was busy yesterday.
I tagged you in it.
Raising money for the hospital.
No, you can't use that as an excuse. I tagged you in it.
It's a pretty good reason.
And then, because 30 seconds after I tagged you in it, you were in my mentions responding to somebody else's tweet that I was tagged in.
I didn't see it, honestly.
I know, I'm messing with you.
Let me go try to find it.
You don't pay it. Well, I deleted the tag of you.
You deleted it?
CC Swain Event. I said, you don't want to respond to me? I'm deleting it.
You went Marty Smith on me, man? You deleted the tweet?
I went Marty Smith on you. But I was hoping that you'd see that I referred to Henry To'oTo'o as a former Vol. I was waiting for you to
he
tell
is
me
a
that
former Vol.
Exactly. I wanted you to tell me that I used it properly.
Yeah, he's a former Vol.
But the other tweet that I tweeted out from Nick Saban on the SEC teleconference talking about Tennessee's offense, they have done a good job of overhauling the roster and getting guys in that can make an impact. They should be credited for the job they've done to retool. All right, you ready? You may want to buckle up.
Dude, I borderline don't want to hear Nick Saban's pleasantries because I'll never forget when Dooley was the coach.
And Pruitt. And Butch.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna pull a Kanye here. I'm gonna let you finish, but it's just Nick always be loving up on our coaches, man.
Oh, just wait till this last.
All right, go ahead.
Which I'm mentioning this to get to Tyon. Your point about Tyon.
Go for it.
But the first part of this sentence, just buckle up.
All right.
Both of their quarterbacks have played well.
I'm done.
They've improved on the perimeter.
That's true.
And their running back is their best player on offense.
All right, listen. I ain't disagreeing with that.
No, but I thought it. I was listening, and it was
what running back he referring to?
Tyon Evans.
I mean,
because he mentioned he He mentioned that I know he's a little banged up right now and missed the last game, but their running back's their best player on offense. It was just ho-hum coach speak. I'm not paying too much attention to it, and then bam.
That wasn't coach speak from
that. That's not coach speak.
No, that wasn't coach
Tyon's
speak.
caught his eye.
No, that wasn't coach speak. He probably like, dang, why
don't we have him?
Yeah, like remember earlier I said Tyon is one of the dudes that I think could play at any SEC team, and we had that conversation about where would he fit in Alabama. Like,
I think Tyon would be in the rotation of any
at every school.
At every school,
yeah, for sure.
It would obviously fluctuate whether he's the starter or third string. 'Cause I think at Georgia he might be the third string.
He would, but he would be in the rotation. He would be the top 3 at any school in the SEC.
Yeah, and Bama's number 2 back just went down.
Yep.
Due to a torn ACL, so he'd be
Any
up
school.
in that rotation.
I think
he ain't playing over Brian Robinson, but
I think he might be the only player on this football team we can say that about.
Say what? Rotation, play, or start? Which phrase are we going with? Because there's a difference.
In the rotation where you're playing like significant snaps.
I think Cade. I think you could throw Cade in there.
Okay.
I mean, he literally did it at Georgia when Georgia's offensive line was better when he was there than it is now.
Throw Cade in there. Who else? I mean, I think Valus would be just as good as Bolton.
Slade Bolden. I think Valus is better than Slade Bolden.
That's what I'm saying. Like
if you put Slade Bolden in this offense with lack of great playmakers around him, would he be just as effective?
Yeah,
I think he's a good football player, but
it's
easy to be Slade Bolden in the slot when you got John Mechie on the outside.
I throw Valus in that conversation too.
I think
any school in the SEC.
You throw Valus. If Valus started instead of Slade Bolden, I think Valus would be more productive at Bama than Slade Bolden.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so
you
too.
think Matthew Butler
in rotation
in the 2 deep
at Bama?
Yeah. Bama don't have the typical D lineman that they typically have now, mainly because they can't. Guys like LeBron Ray can't stay healthy.
I'm gonna say I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not gonna try to play expert here.
I don't know that he'd be in the 2 deep at Georgia.
No. That'd be tougher.
But most of the other schools he would be.
That's some dudes like turn down first round money to come back. So
Jordan Davis.
Yeah, so that. I don't know. I don't know about those. But most schools, Matthew Butler, yes. Most schools,
yes.
Most like 90%, yeah, or more.
The only ones I don't know are Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah.
And I think Nick Saban would love an experienced Matthew Butler who plays hard and knows he's going to do the right thing right now.
Yeah.
Because he's been going after some of this D lineman's neck, apparently.
Let's go.
Are those the only ones? Yes.
Theo? I think Theo would be in 2 deep anywhere.
I don't think he...
Georgia would be tough. But I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think he would. Yeah, I am too. I think he'd be the 2 deep at Bama.
Oh yeah,
they have a youngster starting at Star, and I think they would love Theo's experience.
Yeah, like Georgia would be the only question for me, but yeah.
Bama's just always naturally a question. Paxton Brooks would.
Man, don't start. Low T Center has reinvented the men's visit, making it quick and easy to get all of your levels checked. Not just the testosterone levels, but it starts with the annual wellness exam, where they do a comprehensive health assessment. So know all of your numbers that are important to your health, folks. That's Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Locations all over Tennessee, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Nashville, Tri-Cities, serving you, men. Also, self-inject at home treatments are just $155 a month for self-pay or covered by most health insurance companies. So, men, don't go any longer. If you're feeling lack of energy, if you're feeling loss of muscle mass, if you're feeling grumpy, get those things checked out. It could be low thyroid, it could be testosterone levels, it could be even sleep apnea. Let Low T Center help determine the cause and let them help. That's Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. You start getting special teams in there, Ben. We got to change the subject. All right, let's hit the text box. Hit this text box up. Max Vol says Banks better than To'o. Man, Banks had a career day last week. Career day.
Banks
15 tackles.
Yeah, Banks has been really good.
2 tackles for loss.
Aside from the personal fouls. What I wish you could do is pair Henry T's football IQ with Jeremy Banks's athleticism and attitude. That's the one thing you can't question about Henry. His football IQ is phenomenal.
It's above average for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he walked into Bama and is now calling the plays. It's just his lack of speed and lack of athleticism gets him in trouble. But if you have Jeremy Banks' speed and athleticism paired with that football IQ, God, you're talking about a All-American linebacker, honestly.
Yeah. Vaughn Birmingham says, would it not be the best ever if Joe Milton hits Valus over on a slant over Henry T to win the game? Oh, it would be great. I mean, just to win the game, period. But listen, Henry T is susceptible in the passing game as a linebacker. But he's not responsible for covering slants. Like, Tennessee got hit with all these slants last year. Linebackers don't cover receivers running slants. So, yeah, the guys covering the receivers are the ones that can't guard a slant. It wasn't Henry not being able to cover the slant. But it would be great if someone caught the ball in Henry's zone and area to win the game. And if I'm Josh Heupel, that's where I'm attacking.
What I want to see,
I'm attacking Henry in passing coverage for sure.
Yes. What I want to see is either Tyon Evans run over Henry to win the game, or Hendon Hooker hit the B button, hit the spin move on Henry to win the game.
I mean, he might put the spin move in the garage this game if he plays. He might have to.
Well, what's crazy is the spin move isn't what's gotten him hurt when he's gone down this year.
Well, I felt like he kind of stopped running and slowed down a little bit when someone hit him from behind in the Ole Miss game.
Yes, and forced his knee to jam into the ground.
That's not what got him in trouble. Now the Tennessee Tech hit, I thought he was getting ready to hit the spin move, and the player just hit him right before he's about to do it. I think that's what happened, but he might want to put the spin move on hold for this week and just do a little jukey juke, get down.
Do it to Henry, though. He might miss.
For sure. ATL VFL says we should be healthy at running back. Hopefully that means Tyon and Wright. Hopefully it means Tyon and Small. Those two, man, I want to get those two playing at a high level together. Because Small, man, we did not spend enough time talking about how he shook old boy out of his draws.
He got a little wiggle to
That
him.
was a Travis Stevens versus Florida in 01 move.
Oh, you going there.
Dude.
Travis Stevens and Jabari Small in the same sentence?
I'm talking about the move, like the move itself. Now, the Travis Stevens move against Florida in 01, it was more clear because it was only him and the Florida defender right there in the hole. So, like, the juke looked even worse. But, like, there was a little bit more congestion in the Ole Miss game. But Jabari brought that man to his knees. When you make someone fall in the open field, that is a legendary juke. And Jabari had that, and it's not talked about as much as it should be. But I want to see Jabari and Tyon eat together at the same time. One's been hurt, the other one's eating. I want to see both of them at the same time. I want to see Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Or the duo at North Carolina last year. That's what I want to see.
I haven't been a huge fan of what I think is honestly kind of disrespect towards Jabari. I don't think it's intentional disrespect, but I think folks are sleeping on Jabari. He's not the sexy, guy that's gonna make somebody miss a ton. He's not Alvin Kamara, but he runs hard, man, and he does make guys miss.
He does make guys.
But
Tyon's been a home run hitter.
Yes.
Jabari hasn't had that opportunity yet. He hasn't done it yet. So that's the difference. Both guys can make you miss.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've proven that.
I think Tyon's a little more shiftier.
I mean, but they both can make you miss.
But the perception of Jabari is that he can't. And that's why I think I think folks are sleeping on Jabari.
If that was the perception, I hope that's not the perception anymore because he killed that after Saturday.
Well, I mean, obviously it's not if somebody's mentioning Jalen Wright. Maybe this person is going with the assumption that Jabari is healthy, and that's why he didn't mention him.
I don't know why this person mentioned
folks don't get excited about Jabari like they do Tyon or Jalen Wright.
I don't know why people will get excited over Jalen Wright over Jabari. But Tyon, I get it because dude has hit home runs.
Yeah,
he's a home run hitter. But Jabari, whew, man, I need to go back and watch that play again.
I'm a big fan of Jabari. I talked him up during the offseason because he reminds me of John Kelly. I love the way that he runs. He runs mean. Big, strong, fast, aggressive.
He is.
He'll run you over. If those two guys can get healthy and they can play at the same time, whew, that's a big-time 1-2 punch. And then you have Hendon in the backfield with the threat to run as well. I meant to actually throw this in earlier when we were talking about the hype of Hendon going into next season. I'm excited to talk about the hype of this running game going into next season.
If Tyon stays.
That's a big question. Let's assume that he does. Tyon, Jabari, Jalen, Hendon. Your offensive line is probably all back except for Cade. Woo! We're running for days. And then all of a sudden, I mean, you still need to develop some receivers, obviously, but you can lean on that running game while the receivers come along.
Man, hopefully we get Tyon and Jabari for this football game against Alabama, and we'll see what happens with Hendon and his status. But huge challenge for Tennessee. Ole Miss only had 291 total yards, but we understand the aggressiveness that they showed on fourth down. So Tennessee certainly has their work cut out for them, but the confidence has never been higher for this Tennessee football team right now, even coming off a tough loss to Ole Miss. So we're going to get fight. That's what we're going to get for sure. And these guys will take a big swing, and that's all we want, and that's all we can ask for outside of getting the win itself. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Hope you have a great day. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Peace and much love. We are out.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. Fall is here, and according to the big box stores, it's Christmas time too. This time of year is traditionally a busy one for the East Tennessee real estate market, and it will continue through the end of 2021 as well. Most people think the holidays aren't the right time to buy and sell. However, it is one of the best times to jump in the market. To find out more, just give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, at 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on